he's going to be doing a military parade while shelves are starting to empty, while prices are starting to hike.
I've been asked to speak here in Seattle at that rally.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm gearing up, man. I'm excited for it. All right, we're gonna jump into some like wins that we've found this week. I know the high level stuff, Ahmed, that everyone's been covering is Trump selling access, right? Via his coin. What's it called again?
Yeah, so there's a whole thing. He's got the meme coin where he's sold 100. He's got 100 million in transaction fees that go to him, and in return for that, there are people, top 220 people, they get a dinner with him. So literally selling access.
Crazy.
And then there's World Liberty Financial, this crypto firm his family runs, owns 60% of, where he's raised $550 million there.
Okay.
And there's foreign nationals buying this. So basically, there's a whole grift going on.
Okay, so
in
and like you said, there's a leaderboard. There's like if you like the top 20 or whatever get to have dinner, and so
220.
220. So like you could imagine all these like wealthy, right leaning people that are like constantly looking at where they are on this leaderboard to see if they get time with Trump at this dinner or get to sit in the room. It's disgusting, and it kind of like holds up the like headline of the week, but it hides these other things that have happened. We got a new pope from Chicago. Okay, we got a new pope,
Chi-Town Pope.
Chi-Town Pope. That I don't know. They're saying he's the woke pope. Okay, they're saying he's woke
Pope.
But
Pope.
He's got some controversial views
some
on
issues.
on LGBTQ folks and some other stuff. He is of the Catholic
standards,
Church.
By Pope standards, he's Bernie Sanders.
Okay, this is good.
By Pope standards, he is as left as you can get.
Okay,
progressive as you can get.
You got to judge popes on a.
He hates JD
sliding.
Vance.
Oh, there you go. You're in, and this is a new era of organizing on the left where we're not everyone. It's not a litmus test. Okay, we're building big tent coalition. And if you're anti the other side, then you get to come over and we get to fight together, and we can hash out all the details after we win. All that to say that there's these big things that have grabbed the headlines, but it's hidden these wins that we've gotten over the past week. And I always talk about how polls are fine and they make us feel good and they get a lot of visibility, but the things that we don't hear about enough are elections, and these are the real signs of how voters are feeling, especially in red states. And we just heard about this massive shift in Nebraska, of all places, where we in Lincoln, Nebraska, and this is I want to say Tuesday elections this week. Lincoln, Nebraska, Republicans they didn't win a single seat. Democrats won city council and school board and airport authority in Lincoln. That's crazy stuff. And what you're showing here is a thread of how this happened. This is how they organized.
And how it happened, they organized, they worked, and the thing that they beat back was a situation where registered Republicans outnumbered them. And it just shows how fired up people are on the ground. Obviously, things that get more national attention, like that Wisconsin race, something similar happened there. This is what happened in 2017 through 2021, right? Like, there's a backlash to the authoritarianism we're seeing, and it's reflected on the ground. Local is where it's at, and that's where a lot of the changes happen. School board, I love seeing it with school board included there as well, because that's where these battles are going down.
Oh yeah, that's like where we start talking about the soul of a community. Real quick, this is the voter registration breakdown. Republicans at 83,000, Democrats at 68,000. So for us to win, that means that their vote is either depressed or folks are switching sides, which is great for us. Nebraska, I got to call out. Nebraska almost had a Republican senator lose there because an independent rose up. And so some of this organizing that you're seeing, amongst Dems is it didn't, like what they're saying, it didn't just come out of thin air. They break down how they organize, but they're riding the wave off of the organizing that just came from the 2024 Senate race, where they almost unseated the, I forget what her name is, in Nebraska. We were so close to sending volunteers out there, and I kind of wish we'd pulled the trigger on that. It was like a week and a half before the election, and we were trying to get
Oh man.
a team out there because I want to knock on doors for an independent also, because we're
Yeah.
very much like, we're about voting rights in general, and we're about progress in general, and not just aligning directly with the party. So that was that. It's Nebraska is a good place to measure change, and Lincoln, Nebraska did it this week. Another place was
Yep.
Texas. So you mentioned school board
Hmm.
races, and Texas, in maybe four different municipalities, voted out these MAGA people, and these are people who
Yeah.
have, like, book bans, and they changed the entire, what people kids can, libraries, and all this other stuff, and in four municipalities in Texas, they voted them out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And school board stuff, like again, that's where a lot of this stuff is happening. And it shows the backlash again to this overreaching far right movement that they all declared premature victory. They started pushing their far right extremism ferociously in school boards at the local level, especially even more so than now that we're getting it federally. But it was a lagging indicator back in 2021, 2022. Localities have been doing this for a while. First, they came after critical race theory, even though it wasn't taught in grade school, and now we're seeing a backlash to this. Liberals are taking stuff back bit by bit, and this is while we're all concerned about what's going on with Trump at the macro level. We're seeing his poll numbers decreasing, and now on the ground, we're seeing real world reflections of what that looks like in elections.
And this is also important because these people that run for school board, these are bench, like, these are future leaders that are going to run
Hmm.
for state ledge, and
Yep.
then even larger, maybe federal seats. So this is healthy for our side. It's healthy for the coalition too. If in these red states, you're talking about pushback in Nebraska and in Texas, these are not, Seattle liberals. these are
No,
these are
exactly. Yeah.
moderates that are going to actually do more coalition building. They're going to, bring over more Republicans and more people who voted for Trump last year. Like, this is exactly the kind of ground that we need to make up. The final piece is North Carolina, that has had this
Yeah.
insane Supreme Court fight where they they tried to kick out 60,000 voters, tried to kick out military people, and the court finally made a decision in our favor, and the guy conceded.
Yeah, I mean, Allison Riggs won by I think a little over 700 votes,
Hmm.
and they were trying to steal it. And North Carolina, it seemed like North Carolina Supreme Court was letting it drag on like they were going to do it,
Right.
but federal court basically stopped it, and then we have Jefferson Griffin conceding here, and it just shows again like the court's still like
Yeah.
there's like this fear that, and yes, Trump's defying some stuff, but like the courts still matter, and they're really flexing here. They're pushing back on, and that's literally while we're on this call. There was another court ruling, judge order release of the Tufts student
Oh, really?
battling deportation order. Yep.
Wow.
So it's like the courts are kind of going hard right here, and in a lot of ways, I mean, this is a consequential. This is not
Hmm.
something that can be defied. We see a concession. We see that the Democrat is holding that seat. Like there are real W's happening here, and we're starting to see the cracks in the armor of this whole MAGA movement right now. They got the power and they're cracking.
Yeah, and we're putting the levers on them. I just got off an organizing call this morning, in preparation for the June 14th Flag Day slash Trump's birthday slash military
Oh
parade.
yeah,
The 5051 organizers and Indivisible and a bunch of other orgs that are coming together. We're going to get involved more officially. I've been asked to speak here in Seattle at that rally,
oh that's
and
awesome.
gearing up, man. I'm excited for it. This is these rallies are so good for people who are just now waking up to, not just voting and not just donating, but putting their feet to pavement and getting out there. People who feel newly betrayed, voted for Trump and they're like, I want to do something about this now, and I'm tired of this. Like going to a rally, a public rally, is a really, really good first step. And so, it's we got to welcome people to the resistance, man. And this is the way to do it.
Exactly, man. And, I'm a journalist, so I'm fully objective. But
Yeah, all the time.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm pro democracy, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm more of a columnist, analyst. So I've always let my
Strategist.
stuff,
You're a strategist.
It's no
sometimes?
mystery. Or no, I'm not. There was a mislabel. MSNBC accidentally called me a democratic strategist. I'm not a strategist, but I do be doing some strategy talk sometimes. But basically, the point
I've been doing
is,
some strategy that needs to go on your.
I'd be doing some strategy talk. But I don't know where I was going with that. Point is, journalists play a role in this too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Media plays a role in this because when the fourth estate's under assault, just basically purporting the truth is a form of resistance.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and I think it's good that people are pushing back in these rallies. Now the law firms are starting to push back. Mm-hmm. The collegiate level, these universities are starting to gather together to push back, and Trump's approval is tanking. Mm-hmm. And it's like, just keep the pressure up. This guy's not. He came in here thinking he was we just did an Andor video. He came in here thinking he was Emperor Palpatine right off the bat, and he could just do whatever he wanted. But
the image with
he thought he was Sith Lord right away.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, he literally, everybody, he literally on May the 4th was like, dropped a picture of him I don't know what's more ridiculous, how buff he looked in it or the lightsaber, but
red lightsaber.
That man's not buff at all. This dude had a red
lightsaber.
And he was accusing liberals of being the Empire it was the biggest personification of projection I've ever seen. He's literally like, you're the Empire, while he's holding a Sith lightsaber. And it just showed this how he's viewed himself. He thought he could come here and do whatever he wanted, and everyone's saying, hell no.
Yeah. So
we've been calling this crash out from the beginning, and it's happening.
Oh yeah, it's happening. And here's the next thing that's going on. Let me take a look. I can see the port from here, and man, this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good, man. The ports are emptying. We are going to see the final, not the final, but the next shoe to drop on this is like the undeniable evidence when you go to the store, when you walk into the store, and either the shelves are empty or the cost of things is completely unaffordable. And that's coming. And you can't do at this point, it doesn't matter if we drop tariffs down to zero. It doesn't matter if we decided to give money to them to bring, it doesn't matter. The ships are coming or they're not.
They've already sailed.
It takes time to get here, and it's going to happen, and people are going to go, oh, this is some bullshit. And businesses are already suffering.
Person to blame.
Businesses are already suffering, and they're going to go out of business. You can't reopen. Okay, they're not going to reopen a business after it's been shut down because of the cost of supplies, not just the cost of regular goods that people buy, but the cost of machine parts, car pieces, shelving, all these things. And it's just going to happen. And that's the next thing that's going to happen. And that's why I think this June 14th event, which is a little over a month away, is going to hit. It's going to hit after people have seen the consequence of these tariffs.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be doing a military parade while shelves are starting to empty, while prices are starting to hike.
Exactly.
When the reason why the Q1 numbers were contracting was because everyone was trying to.
They were buying
all these shipments. All the shipments were coming in. Everyone tried to back all these businesses, taking losses, trying to back order stuff. But that's going to run out because in a couple, they're starting to hit. Ford's already starting to announce price hikes. Mattel was saying that is the baby because the rationing of the baby dolls. I've been talking about that everywhere.
Oh my God.
Every TV appearance I go on, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
And so dumb.
Yeah.
To sit there and say I'm going to make millions of dollars, potentially billions, and you have to ration the baby dolls because you're going to be broke.
Because
what
that's
kind of
what we're
message
worried
is that?
about. We're worried about baby dolls. No, we're worried about strollers and medicine and
Yeah.
milk.
But it's just the scarcity. He's preaching scarcity while homeboy's making money off fake coins. Like I
Right.
just can't, it's unbelievable. And then you're right, it's gonna hit. He's gonna be doing military parade while people are starting to run out of stuff and
Yep.
the shelves, like the prices are higher, and he is again, the crash out's continuing. Nothing is boding his way, and I think we're gonna see his numbers crash into the mid 30s when these impacts
Are
start
you
coming
calling
in.
it
Then
mid-30s? You're thinking?
I mean,
Okay.
if the tariffs hit the way that they're probably about to hit, and homeboy's running doing military parades, and he's still on his nonsense and telling us to ration while he's profiting, yeah, he easily will go to, to go to those numbers. I mean,
Okay.
maybe not immediately, but it doesn't look like it's going to get better. This has gone on too long already. So the damage, we're going to be feeling damage no matter what this year.
Yep.
He's already scared the market to the point where it's going to be like he's already created a situation where we might head to recession no matter what.
Oh no, I bet
Like
we're in one
Q2.
We're in it.
Yeah, Q2. If one more quarter of contracting GDP, we're officially in a little.
We're there, dude. We're there. We're
So,
there. It
you know.
feels like it. Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Recession.
wins with recession wins. I felt
Yeah.
that over here
Oh,
too.
you
yeah.
felt it. You felt it. All right.
just,
Okay. That's
So yeah, positive stuff. I mean, we're winning, but Trump's tanking
Things are
the
great.
economy at the same time.
Yeah. Join us next week when we talk about 30%. You think it's next week 30%?
No, not next week.
Okay.
Within the next few months, if nothing changes and he's on the same course,
Okay.
I think we could see because he's already at 41. He's going to be in the 30s.
What's your?
We're going to see a poll.
Do you got a prediction? You got a prediction? Maybe we should end these with a prediction for next week.
Prediction for next week. I think he's going to invent more deals that are just like repackages
fake
of
deals?
old status quo. Fake
More
deals.
more fake deals like the
More
like the
fake
UK
deals.
one.
Repackaging old status quo
Okay.
or worse off than previous status quo and saying he's probably going to claim he invented some trade surpluses that are already
There you
existed
go.
previously.
There you go. Okay.
Because the UK has a trade surplus with us, and he's going to say, "Look, I did the deal. Now we have a surplus." And it's just, it's exhausting.
All right. Okay, man. Get some rest.
My brain's just turning off. Just
It's
thinking
over.
about
It's over. Too much for Ahmed.
All right,
Get some
I'm
rest.
about to